Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into Phil Gerbyshak's 10 ways to make it great.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one.
Right. And our goal here is basically to pull out the core ideas from this book. It came out back in 2007, has a foreword by Jackie Vallent.
She's an HR exec and author, yeah.
Exactly. We want to get those key takeaways that you, the learner, can actually use like right away for personal growth. Think of it as a shortcut to the good stuff in the book.
And it is very direct, isn't it? It's
Uh-huh.
dedicated to his wife, Kim, and right up front, he tells you how to use it. Focus on one chapter, do the action, see what happens.
Simple enough.
Yeah, and the whole theme is this make it great idea. It's about, taking control, not just drifting and having a nice day. It's more active than that.
Okay, so let's jump into the first way. This one kind of intriguing. Begin at the end and work toward today.
hmm It sounds a bit morbid, maybe, but the idea is to get really clear on your priorities by thinking about, well, your own mortality.
How does that work in practice?
Well, the first action step is pretty powerful. He actually suggests you write your own obituary.
Wow, okay.
You're like, if today was it,
Yeah.
who'd be there? What did you actually achieve? How did you make a difference? It really forces you to think about what's genuinely important beyond the day-to-day noise.
I can see that. It cuts through the clutter, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
And action step 2 builds right on that. You list what you want to be known for.
Right.
Then, critically, figure out what you need to stop doing to make that happen. And then you rewrite the obituary based on that desired legacy.
So it's not just thinking, it's planning based on that future vision.
Exactly. Using that clarity for your daily actions.
Yeah.
Living with intention, basically.
And there's a third step, too.
Yep. Action step 3 is super immediate. Identify just one thing you can do today to make it great and give yourself a deadline.
So it brings that big picture thinking right back to the present moment. Make it actionable.
Precisely. Taking a tangible step right now.
All right, moving on to the second way, learn about yourself as much as possible. This feels fundamental.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, right?
Absolutely. Gerbyshak really hammers home that knowing yourself is key for growth, for managing your energy, all that good stuff.
He mentions specific tools, I think.
He does. He talks about the Clifton Strengths Finder assessment. He shares his own top 5 themes. Let's see. Ideation.
So lots of ideas.
Yeah, energized by new concepts. Then,
Woo!
winning others over. Likes meeting new people, making connections. Then maximizer, focusing on strengths, turning good into great. Realtor values deep, close relationships. And strategic seeing patterns, finding the best routes forward.
Okay, so knowing those helps you understand where you naturally excel.
Exactly. It gives you a framework.
He also mentions other assessments, doesn't he? Like DIS.
DISC, Kiersey Temperament Sorter, the Platinum Rule. He says he identifies as a driver expressive.
Which means?
Generally direct, likes to take initiative, expressive. Understanding your communication style can massively improve how you interact with others.
Makes sense. And Myers-Briggs, too.
Yeah, the MBTI, he shares his results, ENFP.
Extroverted, intuitive.
Feeling, perceiving. Yeah, he breaks down what each letter means. And interestingly, he mentions his wife is the opposite type.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it highlights the value of understanding different types, not just yours.
Hmm.
Helps with relationships, teamwork. Appreciating that diversity of thought.
So it all circles back to knowing yourself, play to your strengths, figure out how to manage weaknesses, maybe find people who complement your skills.
That's the core of it. And action step 4 is basically go take some of these assessments.
Right.
See what comes up, how you react. Maybe even ask people who know you well for their perspective.
Right.
But the big takeaway is focus on those strengths. That's where the leverage is for making it great.
Okay, good stuff. Number 3 is use the 80-20 rule as a key to your success. The Pareto principle.
Yes, the classic 80-20. It's got an interesting history. Gerbyshak mentions Vilfredo Pareto noticing, like, 80% of the land or wealth in Italy was held by 20% of the people.
Oh.
And then Dr. Joseph Juran applied it more broadly, especially in quality control, finding that, roughly 80% of defects come from 20% of the causes.
So a small number of things have a disproportionately large impact. The vital few versus the trivial many.
Exactly. That's the language he uses, the vital few and the trivial many.
So how do you apply that personally?
Well, think about your to-do list. Maybe you've got 10 things on it.
Usually more.
Yeah, probably. But Gerbyshak argues that likely only 2 of those 10 items are really going to deliver, say, 80% of the value or impact.
Okay, I could see that. Some tasks are just way more important than others.
Right. And the power comes from identifying and focusing your main effort on those 2 vital few tasks. Finishing those gives you way more momentum and actual progress than just ticking off the 8 easier, less important ones.
It's about prioritizing the high-impact stuff, working smarter.
Precisely. And action step 5 makes it concrete. Identify the 20%, the really crucial things in your life overall, your family life, your career, and then consciously spend more time on those.
Makes sense. And action step 6.
That one's about applying it immediately. Look at your current to-do list. Pick out the 2 or 3 highest impact items and just start on them now.
Get that momentum going on what matters. I like it.
Okay, number 4. This one's close to my heart. Never stop learning.
Oh, absolutely. Continuous growth, right. So important.
It really is. Gerbyshak talks about how crucial lifelong learning is for, well, achieving pretty much anything you want to achieve. He even throws out some stats.
Stats?
Yeah, from a Gerald Jenkins, apparently showing how many adults just stop reading books after they finish school.
Really? Wow. That's an opportunity missed.
A huge opportunity. And he tackles the whole I don't have time to read thing head on. Audiobooks.
Yes. Commutes, chores.
Exactly. He quotes Zig Ziglar, your car is your university. Love that. Libraries, online stores, tons of options.
And he recommends specific books.
Yeah, he lists quite a few nonfiction authors he finds valuable. People like Seth Godin, Stephen Covey, Dale Carnegie, John Maxwell. Covers leadership, marketing, personal growth, that kind of thing.
So the idea is keep feeding your brain.
Definitely. Consistent learning makes you more expert, potentially boosts your earnings, makes you more efficient, which frees up time, maybe helps you focus more on that 80-20 stuff we just talked about.
It all connects.
It does. And he gives 6 practical tips for lifelong learning.
Okay, like what?
Let's see. Join professional groups. He mentions Toastmasters, HDI for IT folks. Pursue a degree, maybe evening classes. Get certified in your field. Take advantage of company training. Use the internet websites, search engines, blogs. And crucially, find a mentor. Someone who's been there, done that.
That's a solid list. Very practical ways to keep learning.
For sure. And then there's another action step 6 here. Confusing, but okay. This one's about reading.
Ah, the library card one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Get a library card. Commit to reading at least 1 book a month for a year. Something relevant to your growth, personal or professional.
Like better writing skills or understanding people?
Yeah, exactly. Pick a topic. He even says to repeat it each year with a new topic. And he offers his email if you need book suggestions, which is pretty generous.
Okay, great advice. Now, number 5 shifts gears a bit. Surround yourself with those who can help you. Networking.
Yeah, but maybe deeper than just networking. It starts with the idea of asking for help.
Which can be hard for people.
It can, but he quotes, the answer is always no, unless you ask. And he points out that actually, most people like to help. It feels good.
True.
And he flips that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. He says it's more like, it's not what you know, is who knows you.
Ah, so it's about visibility and genuine connection.
I think so. Being known and known positively. He suggests asking people questions about themselves. People usually like talking about themselves, right?
Yeah.
Use open-ended questions to get real conversations going.
Good tip.
And he has this interesting take on saying, you're fine. He suggests it often means feelings I'm not expressing.
Ah, okay.
So, encourage a bit more openness and honesty instead of just the automatic fine.
Makes sense for building real connections. What about the action steps here?
Right, several actions for building this support network. Action step 7, get personal business cards.
Even if you're not actively job hunting.
Yeah, just for making connections anytime. Put your contact info, maybe a photo, maybe even a personal mantra or a question to start a conversation. Lots of ways to print them cheaply.
Okay.
Action step 8, actually carry them. Pocket, wallet, car, be ready.
Simple but easy to forget.
Totally. Action step 9 is about joining relevant organizations related to your job now or where you want to be. Commit to going for 6 months, meet at least 3 new people each time.
Be intentional about it.
Yes. Exchange cards, follow up, maybe ask for an informational interview. Be proactive.
And the last one, action step 10.
This one's about your inner circle. Your 3 best friends. Connect deeply. Challenge each other to make it great. Share the highs and the lows. Really invest time in supporting each other.
So it's not just professional networking, it's personal support too.
Absolutely. That close support system is vital.
Okay, so looking back at these first 5 ways from Phil Gerbyshak, some clear themes are definitely popping out.
Yeah, for sure. There's that starting with the end in mind, that self-reflection for direction.
Then really understanding yourself, your strengths, how you tick.
Right. And the 80-20 rule for focusing your effort where it counts most, That's huge.
Plus the constant need to keep learning, stay curious, keep growing.
And finally, the power of connection, asking for help, building that supportive network, both broad and deep.
And it strikes me, even though the book's from 2007, this stuff feels, well, timeless, doesn't it?
Totally relevant. These are fundamental principles for getting more out of life,
Mm.
professionally and personally. And it really hits that need you have, the learner, for practical stuff you can use now.
Yeah, the focus on action steps throughout is really noticeable. It's not just theory, it's very much about doing.
Definitely. It's a hands-on guide.
So as you've been listening, maybe think about which of these first few ideas really click for you. Maybe one action step stood out. It could be a good starting point. Maybe even encourage you to check out the rest of the book.
And maybe a final thought to chew on. What's one specific thing, just one, from our chat today that you could actually do right away to start making a difference? And how could knowing your unique strengths, like we discussed, really fuel that action and help you, go that extra mile to make things great?